Tonight, right here in Belize, several stories converging around one question: who really gets what they deserve? A Belizean living abroad fights to reclaim land she's leased for more than 30 years, only to discover it was quietly handed to someone else. At the same time, the national debate over land intensifies as the Creole, Garifuna, and Maya communities push for recognition, unity, and fairness in how land is shared. Then, outrage over water. Customers say they're being cut off by Belize Water Services for balances as small as mere cents. Plus, a 6-second viral video sparking big questions after a confrontation at a Dangriga sporting facility puts the National Sports Council under scrutiny. And we say goodbye to a beloved voice, Brother Fem, remembered for the news and inspiration he brought into Belizean homes. News 5 starts now.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, June 9th. I am Sabrina Daly. Tonight we take you to a troubling case involving a Belizean living abroad who nearly lost the very land she had been leasing for more than 30 years. Geraldine Hyde says she and her husband first applied for a 23.5-acre parcel near La Democracia village back in 1993. Since then, they've maintained a lease on the property, expecting one day to secure full ownership. But when Hyde finally moved to purchase the land in 2022, she made a shocking discovery. It had already been handed over to someone else. So, who ended up with the property? The name rings a bell: Charles Anthony Price. He's the same individual who made headlines in 2025 after securing same-day approval for a land application tied to a separate dispute. In that case, Independence resident Shireen Garbutt claimed the property was taken right from under her. Now Hyde's land is being returned to her, raising a bigger question: how do these situations keep happening? News 5's Brittany Gordon digs deeper into the growing concern surrounding land distribution and oversight.
It's on the minister's desk, awaiting a signature. That's what Geraldine Hyde heard about the land she's been trying to buy since 2022, a line many Belizeans know all too well. It's the same promise Independence resident Shireen Garbutt said she got right before her land was quickly handed to someone else. Now it's happened again, this time to Hyde, and even more troubling, the land ended up with the very same person.
We followed all the necessary procedures, and we thought that it was on track. Because every time we go, slow progression, but it was progressing. Until the last we heard, it's at the minister's task.
Hyde claims that she began leasing this property back in 1993 and had been maintaining it ever since. Receipts show that she had been paying for the land for decades and fully believed she'd be able to seamlessly purchase it after the lease was up. However, when she finally secured a meeting to check on its status, she learned it may have already been sold to someone else.
I said, so when can I follow up with you? But during that conversation, he was like, I wonder if this property has title already. I said, it can't be. I've been following up every time, and you guys keep telling me to come back. You know, it's in process, and now it's on the minister's desk. So how could it be titled? So he called me the following week, and he said, are you standing or are you sitting? I said, why? What happened? He said, well, I got inside scoop that they gave away your land to someone else. I said, what? I said, that's impossible. What do you mean? They're telling me it's on the minister's desk for signature, and now you're telling me it was given away?
Holding a government lease usually gives you first dibs on buying the land, but it's not guaranteed. Hyde says she was told the minister could reject her application at any time. Still, she was never told a decision had been made. Like Garbutt, Hyde pushed back. She filed a formal complaint with the Lands Department, citing breaches of due process, major investments in the property, and misleading information from officials. After getting nowhere, Hyde turned to News 5. We then took her concerns directly to Lands Commissioner CEO Paul Thompson, who had this to say, quote, in the wake of your Facebook posts, we reached out to Miss Geraldine Hyde, and after hearing her story, concluded that the lands should be returned to her. Her leases from the early 1990s had expired, and the minister was under the impression that the lands were undeveloped, and so could be reassigned. We have committed to giving her an opportunity to purchase the 2 parcels of land. We won't always get things right, but we try every day to address concerns when they are brought to our attention, end quote. Thompson claims the property will now be returned to Hyde for purchase, and Price will be compensated with another parcel. Hyde claims she had been told that Price was owed a parcel of land due to an error. Now the land is being taken back, and he will allegedly receive a new one. Back in 2025, Price also returned the land back to the government amid the Garbutt land dispute. So while Hyde has been promised her land, questions still remain as to how these mistakes keep happening, and how many Belizeans will pay the price. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Hyde stated that if the promise to return the land to her is not fulfilled, she will take the government of Belize to court. Questions surrounding land ownership, ancestral occupation, and customary land rights are once again at the forefront of national discussion. Joining the conversation is the National Creole Council, which has issued a release asserting traditional land rights for Creole Belizeans. It's a national conversation that includes the National Garifuna Council, which recently launched its legal defense fund to fight for Garifuna indigenous land rights and the Maya people who continue the demarcation process of their customary lands in Toledo. Tonight, News 5's Shane Williams takes a look at the recent claims each group is making.
Former Prime Minister Said Musa once famously said, I will not preside over the balkanization of Belize. Land has long been one of Belize's most sensitive and complex issues. Today, 3 of the country's major ethnic groups, the Maya, Garifuna, and Creole people, are each advancing claims rooted in history, culture, and ancestral occupation. The National Creole Council recently issued a statement identifying communities such as Placencia, St. Bite, Belize City, the Belize River Valley, Punta Gorda, Yemery Grove, and others as traditional Creole settlements with historical and cultural significance.
What is also important to note historically is that Creole there long before Garifuna, Yucatec, and Kekchi, right? Whereas the Garifuna culture developed on St. Vincent and then brought to Belize via Rotan, Honduras, whereas the Kekchi culture developed in at the Petén and then brought down to Belize, whereas the Yucatec culture developed in the Yucatan then brought down to Belize, the Belize Creole culture developed right here. And we have been here close to 200 years before any other group. So while the Garifuna are claiming indigeneity and the Maya are enjoying the status of indigeneity, the only next natural step is for Creole to be included in that conversation.
Meanwhile, the Maya people continue the process of demarcating customary lands in Toledo and are preparing to go back to the Caribbean Court of Justice for clear instructions to be issued to government.
The court has made it clear that where Maya land tenure exists, where Maya people are customarily using their land, where they are practicing their tradition, spirituality, their cultural patterns of land use, that they have rights to this land equal to any other form of property rights found in Belize. The court also said another important thing. The court said that where titles were given to others before and after this affirmation, those titles do not extinguish Maya customary rights. Our property rights as Maya people did not begin in 2015. So the situation is that there are two competing interests on the same land.
And the National Garifuna Council advocates for recognition of Garifuna ancestral rights in communities, including Hopkins and St. Bite, which have launched their own legal defense fund to take their fight to court.
For those persons that don't understand what indigenous means, one of the things that it means is existing in territory before the colonizer. And we did. We existed. We lived, occupied, developed in the indigenous way. This coast, the southern coast of Belize, we were the first to occupy it. Right? I dare anybody to come and try to prove otherwise. We were the first to occupy the southern coast of Belize, from the Sibun to the Sarstoon. And it is our presence that made it possible for the British to expand its boundary to the Sarstoon, because we were here.
As Belize continues grappling with questions of ancestry, identity, and ownership, the challenge may lie not only in defining rights to land, but in ensuring those conversations unite rather than divide the people who call Belize home. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
What happens next will test whether Belize can reconcile competing ancestral claims without hardening divisions on the ground. We'll keep following this story. Tonight, as the national conversation around customary land rights heats up, community leaders are responding to a growing narrative of division. Voices from Belize's Creole, Garifuna, and Maya communities are making it clear that this is not an ethnic tug-of-war. Instead, they say it's about something much bigger: fairness, access to land, and respect for ancestral ties that stretch back generations. While each group continues to press its own historical claims, they're standing united on one message: Belizeans shouldn't be pitted against each other over land. So what exactly are they calling for, and where do their positions align? Here's what they had to say.
We choose to assert ourselves as indigenous and let the historical data speak for us. So the main thing our Belizeans know, this is not our Creole versus Garifuna fight. This is not our Creole versus Maya fight. This is our assertion of Creole identity, especially where it relates to the land. Why? We think that Creole only belong in a Belize district. But everywhere there's a river and waterway, there was a Creole settlement.
Please don't fool yourself into thinking that this is an us versus them situation. You need to be clear who are the us and who are the them. Because the us and the them is not Garifuna versus Maya or Maya versus Mestizo or Creole versus Garifuna. Though we have to recognize who the common enemy is in what has been transpiring in our country and the systematic disenfranchisement of the regular Belizean, right? That is important for all Belizeans to understand.
There are many ways we can help each other as Belizeans, because what we are fighting for as Maya Belizeans is also good for you because we see ordinary Belizeans fighting for their survival. Sure, they might not use the land the same way we use it, but they too deserve a piece of this jewel, and they are struggling right now. So many ordinary Belizeans cannot even get a house lot. But there are people in this country, wealthy people in this country, who hold thousands of acres of land by themselves. The government needs to see this injustice. We, Maya people, see this injustice. And we would be the first to stand with ordinary Belizeans to demand their birthright as Belizean citizens.
The government of Belize has appointed an independent commission on village boundary disputes that was set up to look at geographical disputes between communities, but recent consultations have resulted in racial tension. After the break, a deadly weekend on Belize's roads. 7 lives lost in 5 crashes, but many more accidents flew under the radar, and taxpayers are left picking up the bill.
The tip of the
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. When the Hurricane Keith struck a devastating blow to Belize in 2000, many of our friends in the States felt they should do something to help our hurting friends. Therefore, we came to Belize and purchased basic Belizean foods and chartered buses and small boats to get the needed items to the people in the villages cut off by the floodwaters. Never will I forget the day that we made the first trip across the lagoon to the village of Crooked Tree. As the little boat landed, the people came out of the church to meet us, and they said, Brother Bob, we knew you would come. We knew you would help. That day, God reminded me of the promise Jesus made when he was leaving this earth. He too said, if I go, I will come again and receive you, that where I am, there you may be also. The same Bible that promised that Christ would come the first time also promises he will return again. Prepare for this coming by placing your faith in Jesus Christ as your Savior. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Dr. Bob Roberts and Christian Foundations of Faith.
The biggest soccer season is here. Are you ready to experience the front row from home? Experience stadium level immersion with Samsung's latest technology. Perfect for every room. Your favorite Crystal UHD and QLED smart TVs are ready for you. Now at the best price. From your 32-inch personal fan zone at just $369 to the massive 85-inch home stadium experience for only $2,579. We have the perfect upgrade for every fan. Get yours with confidence at Cellular World, the authorized distributor in Belize, and receive a 1-year warranty. Visit us today and take advantage of these promotions. Valid until June 15th. Upgrade to the front row at home. Experience with Samsung and Cellular World.
I am a diabetic. I have an access to my medication every 3 months, and I have my analysis. And like how I am more or less an elderly, I receive my medication free. It helps us a lot. It helps us economically. It's a place that's accessible for almost every village that is registered here. And it's good because we have the elderly that we can travel with them here and there. Well, we have it here. The doctors are willingly, ready, friendly. The staff itself then, they're friendly and they attend to you readily. And we don't have to be waiting and waiting. It's a really good thing that has done. It had been always been said that NHI, but then thanks God it come to Orange Walk. I think that I'll tell the government it's a good thing that they did. They thought about people that really are in need.
Dangriga, something big is coming your way. Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2026 is heading to the culture capital, Dangriga. Join us on June 12th at 6:30 a.m. at the iconic Alejo Beni Park for a morning filled with energy, excitement, and pure talent. This year, it's all about the kids, from singing to dancing, poetry to performances. If they've got talent, we've got the stage. Bring out the entire family and come celebrate creativity, culture, and the future stars of Belize. Expect fun, music, surprises, and unforgettable moments. Don't miss it. Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2026, where young talent shines the brightest.
Kayo, we have exciting news for you. RFNG Life Insurance is now officially in your town. Now, you can visit our office to pay your life insurance premiums or speak to our dedicated agent, Mayeli, about securing your future with the right coverage.
Hi, my name is Mayeli Hoy, your designated agent here at RFNG Life in the Kayo District. I'm here to help you explore your options, answer your questions, and find the perfect policy for you and your loved ones.
Whether you're looking for life insurance, critical illness coverage, or future saving plans, we've got you covered. Take the first step towards securing a stable and prosperous financial future for you and your family. RFNG Life Insurance, now in Kayo. Visit us today or call to schedule an appointment. Your future starts here.
Belize Water Services Limited is facing public criticism tonight, with residents claiming their water supply is being disconnected over small outstanding balances. Some customers say they've been cut off for owing just a few cents, while others report balances ranging from $5 to $15. Adding to the frustration is a $25 reconnection fee, which in many cases exceeds the amount owed. The issue has now reached the floor of the National Assembly, where last week UDP Senator Sheena Pitts raised concerns over the growing number of complaints and the burden being placed on consumers.
What BWSL has done recently, and Belizeans can identify with this, you have water bill unpaid, $5, $10, $15, they disconnect and they charge a $25 reconnection fee. You know why I'm aware of this, Senator Denison? My firm pays bill, and my firm pays water bill for a certain amount. It never changes. And that don't know a lot of money, because we know to run hotel at the firm. When the bill came, and for some inadvertent reason, it wasn't paid, and the water was disconnected, that is when I learned, and mind you, the habit of the firm is to pay in advance, and so the amounts are drawn down over time. And I'm telling you, Madam President, as Belizeans experience, for $10.51 the bill was the service was disconnected, and $25 had to be repaid. For the life of me, as a standard, they tell you have to put a deposit in addition to the reconnection fee. You pay the bill in order to get back service.
We reached out to BWSL for comments, but up to news time, our request went unanswered. 7 deadly crashes in just one weekend have left families grieving across Belize. But the true scale of what's happening on the nation's roads goes far beyond those tragic headlines. While 7 lives were lost in 5 separate accidents, there were many more collisions that didn't make the news simply because no one died. But those crashes will still carry a heavy cost, one that quietly falls on taxpayers. News 5's Shane Williams took a closer look and found that even non-fatal accidents are straining public resources, raising a bigger question about the real price Belize is paying for road safety.
Road traffic accidents are a constant concern in Belize, but the numbers tell a bigger story than what we see on the nightly news. In 2025 alone, 94 people lost their lives on the nation's roads. And while it can feel like there's a fatal crash reported almost every night, those tragedies are just the tip of the iceberg. In reality, there were more than 3,300 traffic accidents recorded last year. Most of them didn't make headlines because they weren't fatal, but they're happening every day. So, what about those non-fatal crashes? Well, if you ask the police, they'll probably tell you something like this.
Well, we do not have any major incidents. Those patrols were on the highway during the entire holiday and are also deployed in different areas. And so, yes, we had no major incidents reported over the weekend.
Those more than 3,000 non-major incidents in 2025 didn't make the news, but many still sent victims to the hospital. Many of the more serious ones go to the Carl Huchner Memorial, where they rack up a hefty hospital bill. We managed to get our hands on the expenses for treating RTA victims in just the first 2 months of this year. KHMH treated 150 accident victims in January and February of this year. The total cost to treat those involved in those accidents to the hospital was over $95,000. $54,000 in January and $41,000 in February. Of that $95,000, the hospital has only collected $43,200, leaving the hospital on the hook so far for $51,000. This large hospital debt for just 2 months grows over time and eventually is assumed by the public purse. Therefore, while over 95% of accidents do not make news, a lot of them hit the public purse and your wallets. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
The former ombudsman is now taking legal action against the Briceño administration. 6 months after retired Major Gilbert Suazo's contract ended, the office of the ombudsman remains unfilled. And this leaves a key watchdog institution effectively inactive since December 2025. So, how did it reach this point? That's what News 5's Brittany Gordon explains.
Almost 6 months. That's how long the office of the ombudsman has been vacant. Retired Major Gilbert Suazo has yet to be replaced. Suazo served in the role from January 2023 until his contract expired in December 2025. 6 months later, no successor has been appointed, leaving one of the country's key oversight institutions without permanent leadership. When Suazo's appointment was announced and the House of Representatives passed a motion to make it official, Prime Minister John Briceño praised the decision.
Madam Speaker, I think this appointment is an easy one that I expect that everyone on both sides of the House will support. Of course, as we have already gotten the support from the Senate, this motion has the recommendation of the Cabinet.
Officially sworn in February 2023, Suazo was quickly recognized as a champion of transparency.
We exist for people who suffer injustice, people who are vulnerable, people who essentially are not getting the service that they believe that they deserve. We in the office needs for those members of the general public to come and make the complaint, because it is only through the complaint that we are able to do our job from the office of the ombudsman. And that is a point that I want to emphasize. No need to suffer in silence.
And Suazo was anything but silent, and he now believes that it might have cost him his job. In 2025, social activist Jeremy Enriquez lodged an official complaint to the Ombudsman Office, demanding that the government honor his Freedom of Information request on how much taxpayers' money is being spent on private law firms amid the controversial redistricting case. While the Attorney General's ministry said it couldn't provide that information, Suazo disagreed. In fact, he went further. He recommended that at least part of the information be revealed. However, it was later revealed that Swaza's contract would not be renewed. Enriquez believes Swaza's stance against the government is what ultimately got him fired.
I definitely share that view. Normally in the past, past ombudsman would be in office for renewable terms for at least about 9 years. This one here is a shocker in a sense, and therefore there's a lot of questions to be raised. The government has destroyed the credibility of the office, and we're watching very carefully to see who will replace him and if there is that level of commitment to the Constitution and the laws of Belize.
And the vacant post was brought up last week by UDP Senator Sheena Pitts.
We are here in June 2026 without having to deal with any great efficiency the appointment of an ombudsman for the office of the ombudsman, which is a constitutionally enshrined position that is meant to provide the service of check and balance for the Belizean people.
Now Swaza is taking on the Briceño administration head on. He argues that officials ignored constitutional protections tied to his office and mishandled his tenure.
That ruling that I made may have caused some issues within the government. But when you look at that case, the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act case, is the act in itself is there for accountability. And when citizens are denied of their constitutional right, and remember also that the government of Belize is working for and on behalf of the people of Belize who placed them in office to govern for and on our behalf.
Swaza also took aim at the Prime Minister over remarks made in the National Assembly, where he criticized Swaza for agreeing to an arrangement that could reshape the Ombudsman's office into a broader human rights institution. Swaza insisted that the government itself had previously committed to establishing a National Human Rights Institute within the Ombudsman's office. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
As of now, there is no indication when the office will be filled. The Court of Appeal of Belize has dismissed an appeal brought by Tate & Lyle Sugars Limited against the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association in the long-standing dispute involving millions of dollars in fair trade sugar premiums. This is the very case that the government of Belize reportedly pressured the association to settle back in March, while offering $1 million fertilizer package. The appeal arose after Tate & Lyle challenged a July 2025 High Court ruling that allowed the BSCFA to proceed to trial. At the outset of the hearing, the court also overruled an objection from the BSCFA to the participation of Belize Sugar Industries Limited, allowing it to make submissions as an interested party. Tate & Lyle argued that the claim should be struck out, insisting the Belize courts lacked jurisdiction and that any dispute should have been resolved through arbitration under an expired agreement. However, the Court of Appeal found that the lower court judge properly determined that there was a real issue to be tried between the parties, despite the absence of a current contract. Additionally, the court held that the BSCFA had established sufficient grounds to pursue claims based on conspiracy and constructive trust, allowing the matter to proceed. In its decision, the panel concluded that the High Court did not err in refusing to set aside service of the claim or in declining to strike it out. As a result, the appeal was dismissed. Costs were awarded to the BSCFA, and the stay on the proceedings was lifted, clearing the way for the case to move forward to trial. Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney and Ileana Swift represented Tate & Lyle Sugars Limited, while Senior Counsel Magali Marin Young and Alistair Jenkins represented the association. Hector Guerra and Edgar Lord represented BSI. In late May, we asked Minister of Public Utilities Michelle Shabat about the status of a $77 million loan from the Saudi Fund for Development to finance a 60-megawatt solar energy project in Belize. The funding was secured in August 2023, when the government signed the loan agreement. Nearly 3 years later, however, the project has yet to get underway. According to Minister Shabat, the original plan is being reconstructed to incorporate battery shortage storage, creating a hybrid system aimed at improving energy reliability.
There is some discussion of a little bit of a reconstructing it, because we're looking at 80 solar that was intended for 60 solar, I believe. Initially, I think we're now looking at battery 40 and 20. So we're combining it with solar and battery as opposed to just solar, but we expect that to come on stream as well.
Shabat maintained that the investment remains a key step towards strengthening Belize's long-term energy security and renewable capacity. Still ahead, sargassum is piling up along Belize's coast, pushing the country toward red phase as authorities scramble for long-term solutions.
And all kind of things to try to, and it still just keeps coming.
Set. I'll swap out the water inlet valve and everything is running normally.
Amazing. So what will be the cost?
Oh, for you? There's no cost.
No cost? I'm flattered, but I'm actually married.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's actually part of our 1-year warranty policy.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
Belize's only full-service GE USA dealer. Full service, full warranty, full selection. GE Appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
I'm getting older and I need more medical attention, and this is perfect for me, because previous to that I only went to the hospital if I had an emergency. I had a brother-in-law and he was not feeling too good, and he said he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, you need to get a good checkup, and he said, but I need to work and make some money so I can address this issue. It happened that we were working by Santana. He got worse. I had to come to New York. The next morning, Carlos, they took him to Belize. Before the day was up, he was dead. His pressure skyrocketed, and he couldn't be helped. He passed away. And that has repeated itself many times, simply because we didn't have what we have now. It's something very good for me. We've never had it before, and I see a lot of people participate. They come and they are grateful, just like myself, that this service is available.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
In business, timing matters. Now, with Belize Bank's same-day settlement, transactions settled before 4 p.m. are deposited the very same night.
It's been a game changer for our cash flow. Waiting days to access our sales used to slow our business down. Now we could restock faster and pay our suppliers on time.
And with auto settlement, it's done for you every day. Same-day settlement from Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Last week, Belize and Mexico joined forces to deliver a major shipment of humanitarian aid to Cuba. Mexican ambassador to Belize, Ana Luisa Vallejo Barba, said Mexico will continue supporting the island amid the impact of U.S. energy sanctions. The vessel transported 1,700 tons of food and other relief supplies as Cuba grapples with one of the most severe economic crises in its recent history.
As we see, is that we are facing a crisis, a humanitarian crisis, and we always help in this kind of situation. And it was very important to share with you this embark that we had yesterday, and I think it arrived on Sunday. Mm-hmm. But we have been working with Caribbean countries and with Belize to get this help arriving directly to the population. And we always have been a very strong position to Cuba to attend this situation as humanitarian crisis. It's a position that we have been forever. Mm-hmm. Mexico was the only country that was against the expulsion of Cuba from the organization of a summit of America.
Yeah.
And we have been in this strong position forever, and we will continue.
Cuba continues to grapple with severe economic hardship in the face of the ongoing energy blockade. We also asked the ambassador about cartel-related violence in the Yucatan Peninsula. Questions continue to arise about Belize's vulnerability to cross-border crime. But according to Ambassador Vallejo Barba, both countries are aware of the risks and are working closely to address them. The ambassador says security cooperation between Belize and Mexico remains strong, with established mechanisms for intelligence sharing and coordinated responses. And when asked about travel to Chetumal, Ambassador Vallejo Barba maintained that Belizeans are safe across the border.
It's a challenge that we are facing, and I think it's a transnational problem that we have to work all together. But right now, the Mexican government had reinforced the security, mainly in the south part of Mexico. So please come again to Chetumal. It's safe, and everybody's waiting for you.
How strong are cooperations between Belize and Mexico when it comes to security?
It's very strong. We have many mechanisms, institutional mechanisms, to exchange information, to exchange capacity building. We have at least 3 or 4 mechanisms to do that. And in every situation, the information exchange is fast, is effective, and they are working very hard together.
As both nations continue to strengthen intelligence sharing and joint security efforts, officials maintain that cooperation remains key to keeping the Belize-Mexico border safe. Another topic we discussed with the ambassador was the expanding trade ties between both countries. According to Ambassador Vallejo Barba, there is growing interest from Mexican companies in Belizean products, particularly in sectors such as cattle and coconut production.
I know that Belize is exporting cattle to Mexico, and they had already, the company was buying every product from Belize, and I think we have a lot of opportunity in that kind of market. Also coconut, as you mentioned, is very important. There are a lot of Mexican companies that are interested in buying products from Belize, and we're sharing information to get the standards from Belize product to attend the demand of Mexico, and I think it's going to be a sector that is going to be working very, very good. And cattle is also very important, as you said. We had a tariff right now because we were working without any tariff, and right now we impose a tariff, but I think that is going to be resolved in a while.
The ambassador says officials from both countries remain optimistic that expanding trade will create new economic opportunities for Belizean producers. Sargassum is piling up fast along Belize's coast, pushing the country closer to a full red phase. Thick seaweed is smothering beaches, hurting tourism and marine life. In San Pedro, crews now work daily with more equipment and larger teams, clearing shorelines and setting up compost sites. But it's still not enough. Authorities are scrambling to secure long-term dumping areas and safer solutions with conservation partners. With the situation worsening, pressure is mounting to step up the response. Officials admit some days, despite all efforts, the battle feels like it's being lost.
Some days, because I don't think we're looking at this heavily as a region, and I push it personally in both meetings for Central America and the Caribbean. But I don't think we have worked on this collectively and with science behind it to see how we can deal with it. The scientists say that it's coming out of the Amazon and then out of the Sargasso Sea and a whole pile of things. So we just have to try. It's, if you can see Playa del Carmen, we got lucky over the last month or so, and most of it went up to Mexico, and they are taking a beating right now, and they have much bigger budgets, and they have the Coast Guard working and all kind of thing to try to, and it still just keeps coming because you can't work 24/7 in that environment. So by the time you wake up in the morning, a boatload or a beach load of sargassum has washed up on the beaches, right?
The sargassum, when it gets close to the shoreline, it also becomes influenced by the atmospheric conditions. So we look at the weather, we look at the wind, we look at the tides, and then this also kind of helps us to understand what quantities we're going to get and where. Because if we're able to kind of predict the quantities, then we know the amount of staff that we need to have and which locations are the ones where we have heavy accumulations. So if they manage to control one area, then probably it's time to kind of move them and deal with some other areas. But it's just huge quantities of sargassum. And at least for San Pedro town, we're focusing in town, which is only like about 1 mile. And outside of this, then you have different properties, businesses, and resorts that they have their full response program as well. Unfortunately, that's not everyone. It's just a few here and there. Because if every property owner looks at their specific area and cleans up, we can actually manage this. But the problem is that we have a lot of property owners that are not doing anything. They're not cleaning up. And it's just the few, right? So part of our effort as well is to try to encourage the ones that are doing, because they tend to get disappointed every year. They're like, we're tired. We're still losing our equipment. Our staff is having health problems. It's costing us a lot of money. And then we're still not seeing like clear days, right?
Belize has begun using the stoplight system, which shows when local crews are at full capacity and need additional help, highlighting that sargassum is now a year-round challenge demanding ever-growing resources. Up next, a fresh voice from Keekauker is turning heads. Christopher Fuller, known as Don Chief, takes his hustle global, sharing bold stories, sharp lessons, and real-life grit in his debut book, The Hustler's Chase.
My name is Dr. Rosita Jimenez, and I'm a general laparoscopic surgeon. We have just finished an emergency appendectomy, and we're now moving on to our second operating theater for our laparoscopic gallbladder screening. Basically, this is very easy to diagnose. Simple abdominal ultrasound or a pan-abdominal ultrasound can give us the diagnosis. Laparoscopic gallbladder removal surgeries, 90 to 80% of the time, are done due to gallstones. However, there are other conditions like tumors, malfunctioning of the gallbladder that also are reasons to get a laparoscopic surgery. We also have an amazing CT scan and X-ray unit who work hand in hand with our doctors. Instruments used in laparoscopic surgery are chokers like these. It makes it easy for us to do the surgery through these entry ports. The recovery process is excellent. Basically, within a week, you are back up, ready to do your job, your daily life activity, like if you hadn't had this surgery.
In Belize, change is taking shape every day. It all starts with Game Changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game Changers are bringing this to life. Game Changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the Game Changers.
Ever had your card declined? Now it doesn't have to be. Introducing partial authorization. If the card doesn't cover the full amount, it notifies you what's available. You can accept the partial payment and pay the missing balance with a credit card or cash. No decline. Get what you came for. Partial authorization now available. Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
We're Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. 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 Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
At Habet and Brothers Habet, celebrate your super handy dad with gifts he'll actually use and enjoy super savings all June. Like 15% off all power tools and Stanley hand tools, 20% off Vento PVC windows, 20% off Ascot porcelain tiles and 30% off Piso Forte ceramic tiles, and 40% off Sunlight windows and doors. Plus, stop in at Brothers Habet every Saturday for our veranda clearance blowout. And for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win a power tool every Saturday. Visit Habet and Brothers Habet today and give Dad something worthy of his super handiness. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Get ready, Dangriga! Something big is coming your way. Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2026 is heading to the culture capital, Dangriga. Join us on June 12th at 6:30 a.m. at the iconic Alejo Beni Park for a morning filled with energy, excitement, and pure talent. This year, it's all about the kids, from singing to dancing, poetry to performances. If they've got talent, we've got the stage. Bring out the entire family and come celebrate creativity, culture, and the future stars of Belize. Expect fun, music, surprises, and unforgettable moments. Don't miss it. Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2026, where young talent shines the brightest.
Last Friday, the Belize National Unmanned Aerial System Industry Association accused the Department of Civil Aviation of rushing through new drone regulations without adequate consultation. The association says a workshop held last month to review the proposed rules was cut short, leaving more than half of the 55-page document unexamined and all requests to reconvene rejected. News 5 spoke with the Civil Aviation Director, Nigel Carter, on Monday. Here's what he had to say.
Our commitment is to, at the end of our analysis, provide another draft which will be available for review, and another public consultation session will be held. So in a sense, the consultation is not completed as yet. It is just that we had to say, listen, we are at a point now where we must move on. If we were not able to go over the full document with you, then we trust that you understand enough, and we've shown you enough for you to go over the rest of the document by yourself. Turn it into us, we'll review it, and then we'll talk about it again. We expect that by the 30th of June that we would have completed our editing of the document, contemplating the comments that have come in. Where we cannot change certain aspects of the document, we will provide a rationale so that you'll be able to understand why we didn't change it. And where we can make a change, we will make a change. But in the end, do understand that we understand the obligations of the state as it pertains to aviation, and we must always keep front and center that it is a shared airspace. It is a situation whereby drones will be introduced into an airspace that's already populated by manned aviation.
The association also says a Freedom of Information Act request filed in April remains unanswered, with the legally mandated 30-day response window now expired. Nigel Carter responded saying that the information is still being collected and should be shared within another week or so. A viral video out of Dangriga is putting the National Sports Council under pressure tonight. In just 6 seconds, the clip captures the tense end of a confrontation between a facility caretaker and a teenage basketball player. And it's already racked up nearly 150,000 views. The man at the center of it is Brian Suazo, the caretaker at the Russell Chiste Garcia Auditorium, a venue the council admits has been difficult to manage. According to officials, access control has long been a problem there. Suazo claims the incident started when a young man interrupted a volleyball practice and refused to leave the court. He says things escalated when the teen allegedly threw the ball, hitting him. But regardless of that account, the Sports Council says it is taking the matter seriously. An investigation is now underway to determine whether Suazo crossed the line and violated the council's strict non-confrontation policy.
My reaction was one of concern, and without jumping to any conclusion, I wanted to see more as to what precipitated it and where it ended.
And what steps have the council take to see more and to get to the bottom?
Well, we've reached out to our AO in charge of that facility and asked her to provide us with reports from herself, as what was told to her, from the caretaker, and to have the caretaker also file a police report, as his report is that he was also assaulted by the parents of the child.
And tell us, what's your message to Belizeans who saw the clip and have made their conclusion already?
I would say apply the same level of scrutiny to all concerned, to both sides.
Brian Suazo is in police custody as the incident escalates. He says the child's father, a police officer, punched him before his arrest. Public pressure is mounting for his firing, but the Sports Council says it will complete a full investigation before taking any action. Belizean startups are gaining new momentum to grow bigger and faster. Entrepreneurs are being urged to tap into RevUp Caribbean, a hands-on incubation program designed to help turn small ideas into investment-ready businesses. Since launching in 2021, RevUp has guided founders through 5 months of intensive training in money management, governance, and pitching to investors. Now, as it rolls out its 8th cohort, the program is leveling up, partnering with global network Bridge for Billions to offer weekly mentorship, flexible online learning, and in-person retreats. It's all about giving local startups the tools and confidence to scale. We spoke with Managing Director Sandy Glasgow about why this could be a game changer for Belize's next wave of entrepreneurs.
Our program is really designed to support founders who have an aspiration for their businesses, for them to those businesses to grow into significant businesses. We're looking for founders of innovative businesses, and we started First Angels Caribbean like 12 years ago. And in 2021, we started RevUp Caribbean because when we looked at the founders who had received equity financing from First Angels, we recognized that many of them were very technically competent, but they lacked the ability to grow and scale their businesses. And especially if you have an investor, you have an obligation to grow this business so the investors can get a return on their investment. So we really sat down and looked at what were the gaps that we found in these companies that we have funded. And we curated a program, a 5-month virtual business incubation program. We started in 2021 in the midst of COVID. So we designed this program to really fill those gaps. We look at things like, going digital and using AI to improve your productivity, marketing, introduction to finance and accounting, managing people and processes, corporate governance, strategy growth and scaling, and then investment readiness, which involves understanding what angels are looking for when you pitch to them, learning the language of investors, looking at what due diligence is all about, the legal documentation you need if you're going to get into a partnership with an investor, how to value your business, and how to protect your IP.
Applications are open until June 30th, and Belizean founders are encouraged to visit the RevUp website to apply. A new voice is emerging from Key Cocker, and he's making his mark with a story shaped by grit, travel, and ambition. Christopher Fuller, writing under the name Don Chief, has released his debut book, The Hustler's Chase, offering readers a lively mix of humor and hard-earned lessons from his journeys around the world. Fuller is sharing a guide to navigating unfamiliar spaces and finding success along the way. Inspired by his late father, veteran journalist Chris Ragama, Fuller says the book is part of a larger mission to carry on a legacy of bold, fearless storytelling. We caught up with him today to talk about what drove him to write the book and what he hopes readers will take from it.
I was working in Valencia, Spain with my Spanish friend, and we were doing tours like pub crawls and walking tours. And he's like, I write books. I'm working on my 3rd one. And I'm like, I should write a book too, because my one has a lot of experiences. So then I started working on it, and it took about 2 years. And it's just a book about advice, how to deal with emotions, how to adapt. And it's mostly for young males on kind of how to be better men, how to flirt, and how to really enjoy life. It's published under my pen name, Don Chief, and it's published on Amazon. That way anyone can get it, because I have friends all over the world, in Europe, in Panama, in Belize, in the US, and that way everyone can buy it fast and a lot easier.
Fuller's book, The Hustler's Chase, is available for purchase on Amazon. There's more news after the break, so stay tuned.
Home Protector Insurance, construction projects can receive insurance coverage from start to finish. We offer a variety of bonds. This includes bid bonds, advance payment bond, performance bonds, or others. Let Home Protector be a part of your team and help safeguard you through your next project. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Belize Electricity Limited is pleased to announce the holding of its 2025
annual general meeting at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City, Belize, at 3:00 p.m. on Thursday, June 18th, 2026. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification such as a Social Security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's executive chairman or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5:00 p.m. on June 16, 2026. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 501-227-0954, extension 1512.
Life moves fast. Your connection should keep up. Need more credit? More data? A flex bundle that fits your lifestyle? With Smart Prepaid, they're a prepaid option for every lifestyle and budget, making it easy to stay connected wherever you are. Because with Smart Prepaid, you can connect on your terms. Purchase credit, data, flex bundles, prepaid plans, and all your favorite prepaid services at any Smart agent, Smart showroom, or simply dial *100 key. No stress, no waiting. Just fast, easy, convenient ways to stay connected every day. Smart Prepaid. Connect on your terms.
Tomorrow on Open Your Eyes at 6:30 a.m. Join us as we explore the opportunities and issues shaping Belize. We discuss how Belizean farmers are seeking greater access to the Mexican market and what it could mean for the agricultural sector. Then Dr. Adrian Koyi joins us for a heart-to-heart conversation on open heart surgery, sharing important information about this life-saving procedure. We'll also learn how Orange Walk IT Vets Apprenticeship Program is helping Belizeans build skills, gain experience, and launch successful careers. Plus, discover how Women's Haven Products is expanding its reach to Belize, bringing new wellness and health solutions to women across the country. Start your morning with us on Open Your Eyes, tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Greater Belize Media.
Belize's legal fraternity is mourning the loss of one of its most respected and knowledgeable figures. Edmund Oliver Pennell, who dedicated more than 6 decades of service to the judiciary, passed away on Saturday. Widely regarded as a living encyclopedia of Belize's court system, Pennell was known for his deep understanding of legal procedures and his willingness to assist generations of attorneys and judges. Attorney Orson Elrington says Pennell's passing leaves a tremendous void within the country's legal community.
Mr. Pennell is a legendary figure in Belize's judiciary. He is a man who many refer to him as the human Google, meaning any question that you had that you needed to be answered in regards to procedures within the legal system, he had the answer to it. Without referring to any book, any paper, without anything, just by his sheer wealth of knowledge and experience and the ability to retain information. So he was somebody who many persons, including myself, relied on whenever we had questions insofar as what were procedures that needed to be employed within the legal system. I think that that type of lifelong dedication to public service is not something that many people ever did, and worst in this environment, of what we call immediate gratification, that is not something that I think will ever be matched in Belizean society, and most certainly not in the judiciary like that. Absolutely always helpful, always willing to share information, and for that I personally am eternally grateful, and I know each and every legal practitioner shares that experience with him as well.
The government of Belize issued a release saying Pennell's passing is a significant loss to the nation, and he will be greatly missed by all who had the privilege of knowing and working with him. Belize has lost a familiar voice, one that carried both news and inspiration into homes across the country. Eufemio Cruz, known to many as Brother Fem, passed away today after a fall at his home on Monday led to hospitalization. Cruz built a legacy that went far beyond the newsroom. From reporting for Love FM and Plus TV to connecting with audiences as a host on Rise and Shine, he became a trusted presence on air. But it was his music and ministry that truly set him apart, using faith and song to uplift and unite listeners nationwide. As the country reflects on his life, those who knew him best remember a man driven by purpose, passion, and a deep commitment to serving others.
Morning, Belize, buenos dias. Belize, buenos dias de todos. Man, I want to say good morning. Buiti Binafi. Man, I don't know the rest, but I want to say again, morning to everybody. I want to say to the folks in beautiful Ayayay, Punta Gorda, Placencia, Manins, man right down to Mango Creek, Man, Snake Bite, Georgetown, Hopkins, beautiful.
Plus TV mourns the loss of a friend, a brother, a co-worker, a fellow musician, and it's going to be hard days ahead for us. You know, he's been with us since 2010. So that's 16 years of Brother Fem, Monday to Friday. Even in the last few years, when Parkinson was slowly advancing in his body, he would still come to work. What the family is saying is that he may have had either a stroke or a heart attack. And he was found Sunday morning on the floor in his home. He was rushed to the hospital but remained in a coma. Was brought up to Belize City on Monday.
Without him, I will be drifting like a ship without a sail.
In his own way, Brother Fem was larger than life. He was an avid musician. He played the guitar most excellently, both for secular and then when he became a Christian, for Christian groups. He brought out his own album. And so when he came to us in 2010, I mean, this was a person who was a driver, but he just had such a way with people. Love was his access, and so we gave him the opportunity to open Rise and Shine every weekday morning, and he would give the birthday greetings, anniversary greetings, so people flocked to him from across the country.
Cruz is the fourth member of the media that has passed away in 2026. He died at 62 years old. Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, how Geraldine Hyde's property in Democracia was given away. Dion Robinson commented, "This has been happening with both PUP and UDP for years, and it will not stop until someone take the bull by the horn and take control. People's patience are running thin, and major problems will happen at that department. Just a matter of time." Turning to sargassum surge pushes Belize toward crisis. San Pedro Citizens for Change shared. Come out to join us June 14th. While this may not be a permanent solution to the sargassum issue we're facing, every load of sargassum we can get out of the waters protects our marine life and beaches, so come lend a helping hand. And finally, on Brother Fem dies, leaving powerful faith-based legacy. Carlos Alberto Giron shared that if you want Jesus, no force you. Brother Fem was a great church brother and guitarist. May our Lord strengthen his family in this hard time. Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.